Hey guys, welcome to yet another live. And these lives are something that I love doing. As I love interacting with all of you all. I love answering your questions, and I love clearing any doubts that you may be having. As long as we are talking about family constellation work. And those who know me know my passion for this work. And so here I am again with, I guess, my last live for 2024, but not my last live. So I will be seeing you more often in 25. So as we say goodbye to 2024 and we move into another more exciting, more eventful, hopefully, year 2025. Um, I guess what I'm doing is leaving behind everything of 2024 that didn't work out for me everywhere, where, um, well, everything that felt like it could have been different, I leave it behind. And I keep all the good and all the positive vibes, the love, the appreciation, the experiences that I had in 2024, and I carry those forward with me into 25. So let's say that's my resolution for the year, to take forward all the good and leave behind everything else. So I carry only good memories from this year as I enter into 2025. And won't that be a great thing for all of you all to do also? So, as usual, my topic is family constellation. And I don't know how many of you all have attended my lives before. I have no idea how many of you um, hey guys, welcome to yet another live. And um, I'm Ritu Kabra. I'm a family constellation therapist and facilitator. And I'm really excited to be here today in this live with all of you all and connecting with you all, answering your questions regarding family constellation work, clearing your doubts, maybe giving you insights into whatever it is that I can, any topics that you bring today to this live. And before we launch into the whole thing about constellation work, I would just like to acknowledge that we are at the end of a beautiful 2024 and headed into a beautiful new year, 2025. And I guess the one thing that I will be taking from 24 into 25 are all the experiences, all the learnings, all the happy moments, all the love, all the appreciation that I have received in this year. I'll be taking those forward and leaving behind everything else because that is not going to serve me in 2025. So I leave behind what doesn't serve me and carry only what serves me. So that's my sort of, you can say, resolution for this new year, upcoming new year. And as always, we are talking about family constellation, but it's such a vast field with so many different facets that no amount of lives can be enough to cover everything that constellation work has to offer. So, welcome all those who have joined already. I see some people who are always there in my lives, and I love seeing them again and again. Thank you guys for your support, for always being here, for always encouraging me by being part of my life. Ratim, Sumir, some of the people who I see regularly on my lives. So, welcome to every one of you all, guys. And let's talk about constellation and what can you do in. I know we all tend to sort of, end this year or begin the next year thinking about what am I going to do differently? Which goals did I actually meet? What are my new goals? Or what of my last year do I have to still do? Or maybe some regrets or sadness or joy, bitterness, all sorts of emotions at the ending of a year because it's a sort of a time to stock take, to take account, to see where we wanted to be and where we are in comparison to that. And that is a combination of having done, achieved, or maybe not even started on what we decided, right? So, yeah, that's all part of this ending and new beginning. And I know that there are a lot of Instagram videos out there giving all kinds of very good tips on how to start 2025. What can you do that can make it, you can start it with a bang? How can you close 24? And I see a lot of these videos on Instagram. And I just felt that the one thing that I would like to really, really share with everyone through my years of experience of working with constellations, of working with hundreds upon hundreds of clients, coming to me with so many different issues, be it family, be it health, be it career, be it relationships, success, money, uh, you know, uh, anger issues, not getting along with in laws, all kinds of things which are common in most of our lives. All of us face almost the same issues on a in our lives, like anybody else. And I thought that what is it? What is that one thing I can share with you all that is sort of an essence of everything that I have done in my 10 years as a constellation facilitator and in my 2005 to 2025, in my 20 years as a alternate healing therapist. And I realized that the one thing which is most important is healing your relationship with your family, but most importantly, with your parents. That I think is, if that there is that one thing you can do in as the year ends and as the next year begins, is decide to have more communication, more understanding, um, more connection, uh, a better appreciation of your parents, because that is the one relationship that will support us when nobody else does. And even if our parents are not around, even if they are no more uh, on this planet, we are still always connected to them. So for me, that one relationship, if you can start working on it and look at how can I change things. I'm not telling you that if you have a very difficult relationship, you need to go and jump into your father's lap or go and hug your mother. All I'm saying is take one small step towards making it better. In whatever way you feel comfortable doing it. There is no right or wrong way of doing it. But in whatever way you feel comfortable doing it, please do that one little step um, before the end of this year and at the beginning of 2025. And it doesn't matter that they may not be able to receive you in the way that you expect. They may not be able to give you back equal to what the step that you take. And of course, be ready for that, because remember, what you are doing is not for them, you're doing it for yourself. The more you create a connection with your parents, the more grounded you become, the more you become sure of your identity, of your place in this world, and the more open you are to receiving from everything that life has to offer you. Because when you open to receiving from the parents, whether or not they are capable of giving, you become more open to receiving from life. So, yes, that's again repeating what I just said. Just the one thing, if you would do it, is have a better connection with your parents. If your parents are still living, lucky you, great. Please connect with them. Just sit with them. Just listen to them without advising, without telling them what they are doing wrong in their lives, and just listening and just being there, uh, or just sharing with them your life story, not expecting them to understand, not expecting them to do anything, but just making that connection. So that was my opening kind of a thing that I really, really wanted to share with you all. And I know a lot of us have very difficult relationships with our parents. A lot of us have very difficult mothers, very difficult fathers, and most of my clients who come to me with issues, let it be related to any area of their life, let it be career, relationship, even health, money, success, all of it is somehow or the other related to their relationship to their parents when they were growing up. So the beliefs that they formed about themselves, the beliefs that they formed about the world, how they saw themselves through the gaze of their parents, how they perceived themselves through their gaze, and that is what they are carrying forward in the world. And these are becoming blocks to your growth, to your success. So, what can you do? You can go back to where it started, go back to uh, your parents and try to rebuild something different, something genuine and authentic, no matter how small. And you will begin to see changes in your life that you did not even expect. So do it for yourself, not for them. Yeah. So if anybody would like to comment or question or say something, share something, this is the time on the stuff I just spoke about. If there's anything you would like to say, comment, share, please go ahead. And yeah, Pooja, I will not be able to add you to my video for sure, but you can definitely type your message and I will read it out. And if there is a question or there is a comment, I'll read it out for everyone to hear. If there's a question, I will answer it. So, whoever would like to comment or send me a question, please do that. I will not be inviting anyone to join live unless I know that you're also doing a similar work as me, and um, I know that you can contribute something, because everyone's here hoping to learn something, to gain something, and we want to give them the most of their time. So, yes, guys, any questions, any comments on the topic of parents, our difficult relationships with them, and how we can actually invite the next year? Um, trying to build better connections, better relationships with our parents. Yeah. Hi, Mohammed. Hi. Hello. Yes, Sumir, please do ask your question. So, those who missed the beginning, what I was speaking about was building better relations with your parents, no matter how difficult a task that may seem. And in bringing in the next year with this one move that you make in your life, not for them, but for yourself. Because the better your relationship with your parents, the better will be all other areas of your life. As Bert Hellinger said very beautifully, every success has the face of the mother, and our most difficult relationships are with our mothers. Of course, with the fathers too, for some of them, but most of what we think or believe or experience with our fathers is largely influenced by how our mother saw him. So, yes. Sumi, do you have a question? Because I just see question. When people realize that they've been out to a grave disservice, sorry, when people realize that they have been, sorry, your question, I think there's something in the, either in the grammar or in the typo. When people realize that they have been out to a grave disservice, your parents, how do we react? Sorry, I didn't get that, Sumir. Can you retype that? I'm sorry. When people realize that they have been, are you saying when people have been put to a great grave disservice by your parents, how do you react? I am still not able to understand your question, Sumir, but from whatever little I understand, because I think there are some typos in your question. So, okay. If when people realize that they have been put to a grave disservice by your parents, how do you react? How do you react when you realize that you've been put to a great disservice by your parents? Okay, not still very clear, but let's just say that your experiences with them when you were growing up put you in some kind of a space, in some kind of a position, in some kind of a belief about yourself or about about the world around you that made your outlook to things negative, or that made you maybe make decisions which were against your best interest. Is it something about that? Yeah, okay. So, I know that we all think that our parents should be ideal. And growing up, firstly, as children, when we are really little kids, every child looks up to their parents as the ultimate hero. My mother, my father, they are the best. Every child, every little child believes that because they are children and they are innocent, right? So, and because their survival depends on their parents. So, because their survival depends on it, because their parents are the only connection to the world, they become our ideals for a very short time. And then as we start going out, moving out, meeting other people, connecting to others, we realize that our parents are not perfect. My mother is not perfect. My dad is not good enough. My mom didn't do everything right. My dad didn't stand up for himself. My mother lost out on or didn't protect me when I was being abused, or my father couldn't give me what I needed to stand on my feet, couldn't give me moral support, couldn't give me emotional support. So we have all these realizations as we grow up about everything that's not okay in our parents. So going from a place of my parents are ideal, they are my God, because our survival depends on them. As we start to become independent, we start to think for ourselves, we move out into the world, we start becoming aware of things around us, we start having judgments about our parents. We start looking at them in a different light. We start seeing what's not okay, what's wrong. We compare them, we do all those things. And then we realize, no, they're not perfect. There's a lot that is lacking, there's a lot that could have been different, and we may become disillusioned, we may become angry, we become bitter, and then we start blaming our parents for things that are going wrong in our life. So I might say that I couldn't study the course that I wanted to because my dad didn't have the money, or I married the wrong person because my parents wouldn't listen to me, or my mother didn't support me, or my mother didn't protect me, or my father um, didn't ever see me because I was the wrong gender, the wrong color, whatever. And then there are so many things that we can connect to these experiences, which we again connect to all that's wrong in our life. And a lot of us tend to blame our parents for what's wrong with us. So if I ask any one of you all now to just think about, what do I blame my mother for? What do I blame my father for? And this is not about judging them. And I'm not telling you to share it with me. I'm just telling you to take a few moments to think, what do I blame my mother for? What do I blame my father for? Just think about those things. Yeah. And you will see that some of our worst problems we blame on our parents. And that is not to say that they are blameless. There is no way that I'm saying they were perfect or they did everything right, but you are misunderstanding them, or they were great in everything. They were, no, not at all. They were not great. They were traumatized people put in the role of parenting, and they carried their own traumas, they carried their own unhealed, unresolved issues from their own years of growing up with their traumatized parents. So it's like traumatized parents bringing up traumatized parents, bringing up traumatized parents. So every generation is literally passing on their trauma to the next. The so there is no handbook for parenting, there is no manual for parenting, and you only realize these things when you become a parent, that however much you decide that you are going to be an ideal parent, you will still end up screwing up, not because you want to, but because that's just how it is, right? Because we can only do what we experienced. So, what your parent experienced may have been, for example, very tough parenting. It may have been very difficult parenting from their parents. Maybe grandfather or grandmother had a very, very difficult upbringing. They saw grave difficulties in their life. They didn't see a lot of luxuries. They didn't see a lot of good things. And they were probably one of 7, 8, 10 siblings. So they didn't even get seen by their own parents. So when they had their own children, they did what they knew. They also became, they believed in tough love. They were not seen. They didn't know how to see their child, and we think, oh, if you were not seen, you should be able to see me because you didn't feel love, you should be able to give it to me. But the fact is that what you haven't experienced, you don't have a knowing of it. And what you don't have a knowing of, You cannot give it to somebody else. And so, a lot of things that our parents put us through were literally the only way they knew to do things. So, the one thing that I want everyone to realize is that whatever your parents did, good, bad, ugly, and I'm sure they did a little bit of all. They did some good, they did some bad, and they did some ugly. They probably did some very unforgivable stuff, you know. And whatever they did, um, the sorry, I just lost my point. So now I'm a little bit stuck. Yeah, whatever they did was not personal to you. It was not about you. It was not about Ritu or Sumir or Alok. Any other child in your place would have had to go through the same experience with this parent that you had to go through. So it was not personal. The thing is, we make it personal. I feel my parent didn't love me. My parent didn't take care of me. But it's not about me as a person. It's about my position in the system. It's about where I am in the family, firstborn, middleborn, lastborn, whatever that may be. And this could have been anybody else other than me. It could have been, instead of Sumir, it could have been Saurabh. And still, the parents would have done the exact same thing. So it is not personal to you. Any other child in your place would have had the exact same experience with this parent. So the first thing is, don't make it personal. We tend to think that it was something done against us. But no parent would give birth to a child to torture them, to make them miserable, to make them feel like shit growing up, or to not give them any love, you know. Because if you ask any parent, you tell them, hey, you didn't love me enough, they'll say, what? I loved you so much. What's wrong with you? The love didn't come through in the way that we could understand. It was love in their own way, the way they knew it, which we didn't understand. And even today, when you go back to them and try to reconnect, and you may not yet feel that love, that appreciation, that response that you want. But like I said, you're not doing it for them, do it for yourself. So I don't know, Sumir, if this makes sense to you because you asked me a question and I'm trying to give an answer which is more general and, which gives you a larger picture perspective. So, what I mean is when parents' actions set you back in life. Yes, Sumir, I can understand this question. A lot of my clients come with this when they come up with an issue. When we set up a constellation, what we see is that they are blaming their parents, like I said earlier. But say that my parents did do something to set me back in life. They didn't encourage me. They didn't let me go abroad to do the training I wanted to. They didn't let me marry the man I wanted to. They didn't A, B, C, D, E, F, G till Z. They didn't let me do any of those things in my life at that point, right? At that point, when I was a teenager, when I was in my late teens, when I was in my early 20s, when I was in my mid 20s. But what about now? Now I'm an adult. Today I'm an adult. Can I continue to keep blaming my parents when now, today, I need to take responsibility for my own life? Often I feel unconsciously we tend to continue blaming our parents for our broken relationships, for our not working career, because somewhere it also becomes convenient. It also becomes like an excuse. It also becomes something that we have become so used to falling back on that you know, when clients come to me and complain about their in laws, for example, and say, hey, my mother in law treated me like shit. My father in law insulted me when I was sitting at the dining table. She wouldn't give me food when I was pregnant with my child. My only question is, what made you not stand up and be the adult that you are? and tell them this is not okay. Why could you not become the adult? Because when we are complaining about these things, we are going back into our child self. And from our child self, we are expecting that validation which we didn't get from our parents. We are constantly expecting it from people outside, maybe in our workspace, maybe from our partner, maybe from our friends, in our career. So every time we complain about our parents, we are going back to the child state that we were in when we were actually children, and when it was justified to say, you didn't take care of me, you didn't give me enough, you didn't do enough. But when I'm an adult, and if I keep going back to that and saying that what you did affected the rest of my life, we are again going back to the child state and not staying in our adult self. Because as an adult today, you not only have control over your life, over your decisions, over how people treat you, over what you do with your life, all of that, right? You also have more autonomy, you have more um, mm, decision making powers, and you're no longer dependent on your parents. So, the way forward is to stop blaming them for what happened, because that's going back in your child state and coming in your adult state. And that is the most difficult thing to do, to stay in your adult state, because the minute something goes wrong, our inner child, that unhealed, unresolved part of us, pops up again and says, see, you are not successful, you can't do it, it's not up to you. And this is the child self in us. It is our, in a way, protecting us from hurt, but at the same time, it's keeping us still small. So every time you have that blame, shame, blame, shame game, you know, blame, shame game for your parents, come back in your adult self and say, okay, that was then, this is now. That happened. How am I behaving today? What am I doing today? Every time you have the old record, you need to say, stop, I'm an adult, and that was the past, you know. And you will start seeing changes in your life. Those situations which you felt, because you know what? Blaming just becomes our default mode. We keep going back to that. It becomes convenient, you know, just blaming them, just falling back on that excuse, not taking responsibility, not stepping up, not doing what's needed, and just saying, oh, it's because of them. But no, it can't be. It can't be, because you are out of their control years back. And if they're still controlling you, means you're still in the child state. If you're still doing things for their approval, means you're still in the child state. So understand and realize you're never going to get their approval if you didn't get it. So give up trying to get their approval. Just give up. And that is the adult state. I don't need anyone's approval, not even my parents. That's when I come into my adult state. And when you come into your adult state and do things only for yourself, not for their praise, not for their acknowledgement, not for their validation, just for yourself, you will see that when you least expect it, you will get their validation, because the adult in them will see the adult in you, and you will relate to each other as two adults. Otherwise, most times, our parents are coming from their traumatized childhood space. Even though they are in an adult body, they are coming out of their unresolved traumas, and we are responding out of our child state. And the negative loop keeps going on. So if you break it, come into your adult space, they will also come into the adult space. And you will see how this relationship can become really, really nice. Yeah. A very long answer to a question, but Sumir, thank you. That question actually triggered this whole um, conversation. So, yeah, thank you for your question. Okay, guys, any other comments, questions, something that you would like to share with me? And just by the time you're thinking about your questions or typing your questions, just letting you know that in end of Jan, I'm having 4 one-day healing workshops where you will be doing many mini constellations in your own space. And the 4 very important topics are healing the mother wound, creating a bond with father, resolving trauma coming from ancestral trauma about money, so releasing all the blocks to money, and creating more respect and understanding in your couple relationships. So these are 4 workshops. They are on Friday, Saturday, so 31st Jan, 1st Feb, and then the following weekend again, Friday, Saturday. Each workshop is a day long, starting with mother wound, healing the mother wound. That's Friday, 31st. First is creating a bond with father, and then 7th will be the blocks to money, and eighth will be the creating respect in couple relationships. Every workshop is from 12:30 to 6:30, and it is priced at just 5,000 a workshop. If you're joining all 4 workshops at one shot and making the payment, I do offer you a 10% discount. Only those people who are attending here today, you can message me after this live is over, and I can send you the 10% discount code, and you can book the 4 workshops and get that discount. So yeah, that's my offer to you all with a lot of love in this coming 2025. And yes, guys, I'm open to your questions on parent child relationships, any personal questions, anything that you would like to have, get an insight on, or any other topic, not just parent child. I just started with parent child, and that's why we just went down that road. But anything. I'm just scrolling to see if I've missed anything. Yeah, Pooja, your question, please help us create a better relationship. I think I have answered that to a very large extent. It's about changing the way you look at things, changing the state that you operate out of, not expecting your parents to be perfect, understanding that they are themselves traumatized, carrying unhealed traumas, and most of the times they are responding out of their traumatic parts when they are talking to you or when you trigger something in them. So, and luckily for us, there is a lot more awareness about these things. So, we have access to a lot of information which they do not have access to. And so, we are that lucky that we can actually take the first step to creating a better understanding with them. Hi, Neela. Good to see you. Yes, I'm glad this was helpful for you. And do you have any other question, Neela? Okay, still waiting for your questions, your comments. And I also want to tell you that I'm having some training workshops again next year. I have all my trainings lined up from February end. So every month and a half, there is a training. There are 3 levels, and in family constellation training, and then I have a level of business and organizational constellations. So you can go to my website and get all of that info. There is some very early bird offers out there, so which you can sign in the early bird offers. So yeah. Okay. Anything else, guys? Other questions? What would any one of you all have you thought of how you would like this year to be? How do you plan 2025? What changes you want to bring about? Do you feel stuck somewhere? Is there something on which you need a different insight, a different way of looking at things? No questions? Surprised because every time there are so many questions, and either everybody already knows everything. So, okay. So, let's just continue talking a little bit about parent child relationships and why they are important. Um, so, we all know that the relationship with our moms is our most important relationship. Well, whether we all know or no, I'm telling you that the relationship with our mothers is our most important relationship. And the reason for that is for 9 months, she is our universe when we are in her womb. Her womb is our universe. And we take in a lot of her experiences, her traumas, whatever is going on with her emotionally, if she's stressed, if she's happy, whatever she is, we tend to take in all of that, and already we start forming some very deep subconscious beliefs about ourselves, about the world, about our value in this world, about our place. Are we wanted? Are we not wanted? Are we rejected? Are we extra? Are we whatever the expectations from us, we already start having a lot of these right from the womb itself. And all of that, a lot of that comes to us through our mothers. After birth, of course, depends also upon how the birth process was, but I'm not getting into that. The first experience of attachment of a relationship is with our mothers. And this experience of attachment actually affects our ability to form relationships for the rest of our lives. So, if we felt seen, we felt loved, we felt held, mirrored, then as we grow up, we are able to form strong and secure relationships. You know, so that experience that we have in the first month, actually, which is the most important, going on to 3 months, then we even say up to 9 months, a year, 3 years. But the first month is, of course, the most important. And if we feel seen, held, loved, mirrored, understood by our mothers, then we feel safe, we feel secure, and we are able to form safe and secure relationships in future. So mother becomes the template for all future relationships, be it romantic relationships, be it friendships, be it how we relate to groups of people. All of that actually is influenced by our relationship that we form with our moms right in the beginning of our life. And as we grow up, if our relationships are not working, we are not able to make friends, we are not able to have good relationship with our partner, the opposite sex, you need to always look back as the void that was formed in that first primary relationship. And when you work with that, you will actually have much better relationships in all other areas of your life. Sorry, I have a bad throat. And another important thing in our relationship with our mother is our first experience of nurturing, of receiving love, receiving abundance in the form of nourishment. Because for the child, wealth is the mother's milk, okay, being held, being loved, being seen. When she holds our gaze, that is the wealth for a child. So the first experience of being nourished by mothers is very, very important in how we are open to receiving later on in life from all our other relationships, as well as in our career, in our workspace, receiving from the universe, just being open to receiving. Okay, so with our mother, the relationship, our ability to form good relationships future in the future, as well as our openness to receiving. If we could not receive for whatever reason, there can be so many reasons that she was unavailable. If we could not receive, we in a way tend to close up. It's like this: the child withdraws because the child is disappointed. The child reaches out, reaches out, reaches out, and if the mother is not available, the child withdraws, loses faith, loses trust. And if this experience happens over and over again, then the child sort of closes themselves up and then is not open to anything that's available, even as an adult, things available to us, the good things coming our way from the universe, from life, from destiny. We close ourselves up to all of that. So, this relationship is extremely, extremely important. When it comes to our fathers, I'm just giving a very small brief of, because we are going to close in about 10 minutes. So, when it comes to our fathers, after the mother, of course, the next important relationship is our dads. And a lot of uh, a big part of how we see our fathers is influenced by how our mother sees him. So if she looks down on him, we tend to judge him. If she loves him, we tend to look up to him. And just like the mother nurtures us and nourishes us, fathers prepare us for the rough and tumble of life. They prepare us more to face the outside world. So they are more about our identity in the outside world. Who are we outside? How do we take our place in the world? How do we take our place in society? How comfortable do we feel in taking our place in growth, in success, in making a name for ourselves? How comfortable are we to be seen in the world and to stand our ground? How clear are we with our boundaries? you know and how belonged do we feel in our places of work? How do we relate to the authority figures in our life? Because our fathers are the first authority figures in our life. And how we relate to the authority figures in our life is connected to how we related to the first male influence in our life, which is our dads. So even if the authority figure is a woman boss, it doesn't matter. As long as it's someone in authority, how we behave with them, how we feel around them, how confident we are in their presence is all influenced by the kind of relationship that we had with our father. So, the relationship with our parents, as you can see, is extremely, extremely important. And to just sum up what I said at the beginning is ending of 2024, beginning of 2025, probably the one thing that my suggestion to myself, of course, also, and to everyone else is to have better relationships with your parents. It doesn't matter that you don't get back from them the love that you're willing to give, that you're open to give. Just open yourself up. Now you know how important it is to open yourself up. So just open yourself up and be willing to be vulnerable, be willing to be hurt. Because if you're in your adult space, you will realize that this is how this person is, this is who she is, this is who he is. It is not personal to me. It is about them. It is who they are. They are not doing it to me. They are just being themselves. And how much can I understand that and accept that and create a, a beautiful connection, whatever little connection I can create with them, one small step at a time. And I promise you, every the deeper your connection to your parents, the better and the easier your life becomes, the fewer roadblocks in your life, and the less issues you will face in your life. So that's my closing statement to all of you all. And I'm still open to questions. If you all do have, please do ask. We have about 5 minutes more. Excuse me. So, and just to remind you all again of all the 1 day workshops, the healing workshops, in which you'll get very deep insights into your relationship with your mom. And of course, there'll be healing. You'll be doing it in your own personal space, so you don't need to share anything. All of this is online on Zoom, so you can do it in the comfort of your own homes with your cup of coffee. And, so do take this opportunity to join these workshops, these healing workshops, and really, really take the first step towards healing all these most important areas of your life, right? Mom, dad, money, and relationships. What else is there, right? Okay. Okay, guys. I see there are no other questions. So I will take your leave. I hope this was useful chat, and you got some good insights, and you have some good takeaways from this. I will be putting it on my feed on my Instagram page. So feel free to go back, see it again, maybe share it if you think it could be helpful to your parents, to your children, to your friends, to your family, whoever you think might benefit from this, because this is a universal topic. Everybody has parents and everybody has issues with parents. So, this would give everyone a great insight into just having a different perspective on this relationship. And maybe this helps them to take a step forward in their life and in this relationship. So, thank you so much. And thank you for joining. Um, it was great connecting to all of you all. And I hope to see you very, very soon in either my healing workshops, my trainings, or another live, or in a one to one personal session. If you would like to book that with me, you can just connect with me on Instagram, send me a message, and I reply within 24 hours. So thank you so much. Have a great, great weekend, and have a great 2025. Bye.